Stray Kids, arguably one of the biggest and most talented groups of the fourth generation, are known for their loud music and crazy concepts. And if you don't know them, you're most likely been living under a rock, but don't worry, that's why I'm here. So sit back, grab a snack, get comfortable. Today we're diving deep into the strange world of Stray Kids.
Calling Caitlin's Corner.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Caitlin and today we're diving deep into Stray Kids. If you guys don't know, Stray Kids is one of my alt groups, so I thought why not introduce them to you. You probably already know who they are, but today we are going to do a quick overview of their history and then dig deep into the lore. So I hope you're comfortable, you're going to be here a while. Let's go. Stray Kids, or Skids for short, is an 8-member K-pop group formed under JYP Entertainment. They were originally formed in 2017 through one of JYP's many survival shows, because why not throw a bunch of trainees together in hopes to achieve their dreams and see what happens, you know, K-pop things. Despite the intense environment and the many tears throughout the show, all 9 members debuted as Stray Kids. That's right, 9 members, but we'll get there. That's right, Stray Kids originally debuted as a 9-member group, but throughout the first couple of years, the oldest member, Woojin, ceased all activities with Stray Kids and pursued his solo career, leaving us with our 8 boys we know and love today. So let's meet the boys we all love today. We can all agree every single member of Stray Kids brings a unique vibe to the group, mixing up the flavours. Stray Kids are the whole package. So let's introduce our boys. Starting with our leader, Bangchan is the leader, producer and songwriter in Stray Kids. He was originally born in Korea but moved to Australia at a young age before quickly returning to Korea in pursuit of his dreams. He is the oldest member of Stray Kids, born in 1997 and trained under JYP for 7 years. Talk about dedication. Leno, or Lee Mino, is the main dancer of Stray Kids and potentially cat whisperer. He was born in Korea in 1998 and trained under JYP for 1 year. And if you look close enough, you may also see that he was a BTS backup dancer, which I think is an achievement of itself. Our third member of Stray Kids is Changbin, rap god and producer. He was born in Korea in 1999 and trained for 2 years under JYP Entertainment. And I can say for sure that man can rap quicker than I can order takeout. Our fourth member, Hwang, Hyunjin, is a dance machine. Never mind his visuals. And by visual, I mean good luck trying to take your eyes off him when he's dancing on stage. Because this man isn't just a pretty face, his dance skills are one of the most insane I've ever saw. Born in Korea in 2000, he trained under JYP for 2 years before debut. Next, oldest of our matinee line, we have Jisung. Our second rapper, insane vocalist and all-rounder. There's nothing this coca can't do. Born in Korea in 2000, he trained for 3 years under JYP Entertainment before his debut. He is chaotic, but he keeps things interesting. Next we have our sunshine Felix. That deep voice you heard in Skids music, yeah, that came from this face. He was born in Australia before moving to Korea to pursue his dreams, and his voice will shake you to your core. Born in 2000, Felix came to Korea and trained for 1 year under JYP Entertainment before debut. Mr. Seungmin, main vocalist here to melt your heart. Born in Korea in 2000, he trained for 1 year under JYP Entertainment before debut. Not only does he have some insane vocals, but he can also capture any moment Stray Kids want to remember, as the unofficial Stray Kids photographer. Last but not least, our Maknae IN. The youngest member of Stray Kids has a voice of pure magic and he's a fashion icon. Born in Korea in 2001, he trained for 2 years under JYP Entertainment before debut. But let's not forget, this man wants to be a priest if being an idol didn't work out. Stray Kids officially debuted on the 25th of March 2018 with their first ever title track, District 9. District 9 was aggressive and bold and screamed, "We are not just a boy group," and they have been proving it ever since. Fast forward to 2020 and Stray Kids released God's Menu, which not only put them on the map but exploded the borders of K-pop. God's Menu is like a cooking show on steroids, except without food and more killer choreography, insane vocals and of course an addictive changbin rap. Since then they've sold out global shows, headlined the biggest festivals in the music industry and charted on Billboard 200 many times. Along with the fact that they are mostly self-produced, Stray Kids have went from rising K-pop stars to global industry leaders. But that's just the outside layer of Stray Kids. If you want to dive deep, you have to understand Stray Kids lore, which is a whole task itself. But don't worry, I'm going to try and explain it the best I can to you. First of all, what even is Stray Kids lore? Stray Kids lore is a storyline that runs throughout all of their music videos, all of their trailers, that tells you the story of Stray Kids. So let me attempt to explain it to you, because it's a lot. Just quickly, before we get onto the Stray Kids lore, I would just like to thank this person on TikTok. I referred a lot to some of her videos in order to like fully explain this, because it's very hard to explain. I also just want to let you know that I am only going to be talking about the main trailers and main title tracks of Stray Kids throughout this video, and some other ones that connect a little bit. I'm not going to go into every single B-side because that would be a lot. I'm also not going to talk about their Japanese songs. If you want a video on their Japanese songs, I can definitely make that. But I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. So I'm only going to be talking about the facts that we definitely know and my own theories that go into that, if that makes sense. And then at the very end, I am also going to be talking about some other popular fan theories that I don't necessarily know too much about, but I have found on like Reddit and Twitter and stuff. I hope you understand all of that. Yeah, let's just go. Our first Stray Kids series is I Am, but we are first going to take it back to Elevator, which is a pre-debut song, since we theorise that's where the story starts. So in Elevator, the world looks very empty, it looks very depressing, the colouring's very like monotone, and it just doesn't feel good looking at this video, like visually wise. We see Han, he's not looking the happiest, he's quite angry, he's setting fires to things. We don't really know why, but we do see him, he breaks off from the rest of the group and he finds the elevator, which does come back into Stray Kids lore many times throughout the whole thing. But he gets inside and presses the button for hell. We then see Chan realise that Han is gone. He gathers up the rest of the kids and they also get in the elevator to follow him, presumably. They all end up in a purple field. They're just running along chasing Han, and when Chan looks up, he sees the city in the sky, which is upside down. And at this point we don't really know what this city is. You can presume that it's like a different version of them, if that makes sense. That's all we've really got for Elevator, so let's move on to the rest of the I Am series. Firstly, in the I Am series we have the I Am Not trailer, which is just a bunch of world building. You have Stray Kids in this world where it looks like they're a part of a system. They're all wearing the same clothes, white clothing, they're all like walking in formation, and we don't know if this is the upside down world or the world they are currently in, but it looks like they are forced to be the same, like there's no individuality, which I think is a comment on today's society. Well, we're all born different, but we're forced to like conform to be the same. Everybody wants us to look the same, be the same, act the same. I think Stray Kids are really smart for this. However, in this trailer we also see that Chan sees the sky glitching, it looks like, and we also see that IN sees another version of himself. We don't really understand it at this point, but this seems to be a running theme in Stray Kids lore. Moving swiftly on to the District 9 music video, Chan continues to see the glitching. At one point he sees like a flower glitching, and when he goes over to investigate it he finds a broken drone which looks like it has like penetrated through the force field of whatever the system place they are in. And at this point there was a video released of Chan explaining some of the Stray Kids lore, and at this point he says this is the point they decided they were going to break out of the facility. We then see Chan give all the kids a piece of paper that presumably have the escape plan on it, and then he's waiting by the big bus, which also comes back into play. He's waiting by the big bus and all the kids run out and they break through the force field. We then have the My Pace music video, which is more of just like a transition between both areas. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's like a transition period between District 9 and IMU. We see that the kids are still under surveillance, but this time we don't really know by who. It's presumed that it's by the people that are in charge, like the government that's in charge of the system that they just broke out of, and that they are now the glitch in the system. At the very end we see them running through the tunnel together, which connects directly to I Am You. I Am You is another transition period before the Clay series begins. All the kids walk out of the tunnel, you can hear My Pace is still playing, they're in the same clothes, but Han finds the surveillance camera that's been watching them and he destroys it. We can presume this is them putting the past in the past, they want to forget it. I think that's what the tunnel signifies, is they're walking away from their past. And at the very end of the I Am You music video, they are hanging out on this rooftop area overlooking the city. We're not sure if this is their city or the upside down city, but I'm pretty sure it's just their city and they've like escaped a section of it, I think. And then we move straight into the Clay series. The Clay series begins in the Miro music video, where we see the kids exploring the world that we saw at the end of I Am You. It looks like they're just getting to know the place, but then it also looks like we see the behind the scenes of them starting their revolutions and their plan to overthrow the government of this city. And then throughout the music video we see them successfully doing so. And after the government has been overthrown, we see them back on the rooftop, and that is exactly where we see them in the Yellow Wood trailer. Now this is one of my favourite sections of the Stray Kids lore. This blew my mind. When I understood it, blew my mind. So we have the Yellow Wood trailer. In the Yellow Wood trailer we see the kids go back into the elevator, which comes back from elevator, and they go to the lower levels of the city, so they're like street level. They come off the rooftop into street level and they see that actually nothing has changed, the government still rules, and they decide we are not about this life, and they decide to leave and go to Yellowwood. So they get back in the elevator and they use a little special key and they go to Yellowwood. Now we don't know where this key came from 100%, but there is a section in Chronosaurus where one of the members finds a key and gives it to Chan, I'm pretty sure, but the keys do not look the same, so we don't know if this is where the key came from or if it came from somewhere else, or if he just had the key. We're not sure, but there is a key, they're in the elevator and they're on their way to Yellowwood. Now this is my favourite part, the side effects music video, my favourite part of the lore. So we see the portal, the elevator portal thing arrive in Yellowwood, and then we see when the members walk out it's kind of messy and stuff, but we see one of the members find a bus ticket to the new world, and this is where the Stray Kids worlds split. There is the world where they get on the bus and the world where they don't get on the bus, and to fully understand this concept you have to know where Chan came up with the name of the album Yellowwood. Now I'm going to explain this as quickly as I possibly can, but also giving you information that you need. I am not an English major, I don't know this perfectly, but this is what I found out. A poem by Robert Frost named A Road Not Taken, where in the world of Yellowwood there is two roads and it is best to take the road not taken by most, if that makes sense. That is the simplest I can put it, but that is where Chan got the name from, and that seems to be what's happening in the Stray Kids lore right now. We have one where you can get on the bus, one where you don't get on the bus, and they choose to take the road not commonly taken. So in the side effects music video we follow Stray Kids taking the path that's not most commonly taken, and because there is now two groups of Stray Kids, that is represented by the two moons in the sky, which I know has been like a big theory in the Stray Kids lore about the moons. They really like doing stuff with the moons, but right now there is two moons because there is two sets of Stray Kids. And as the name may tell you, throughout the journey we see that there starts to be some side effects of them taking this difficult journey, aka Hyunjin starts fighting with the other members, and there is also a section where we see Han looking up in the sky and he sees a city in the sky, but it is not the same city in Elevator because this city is not upside down. We don't really know what this city is, so we can presume that it was just the world they left in Miro. But they run into trouble again as they find out they're still under surveillance, but this time we don't know if it's the people from District 9 or if it's someone else. But there's like spotlights, people find them, we're not sure who yet. And at the very end of side effects, Hyunjin collapses, but the rest of the members come help him. They make up, and we can presume that this is also another lesson that they're teaching us. Just like trust each other, help each other. Friends are important, basically. That's what Stray Kids are teaching us. And at the very, very end, there is a little clip of a key in the water, which links to the next music video, Double Knot. At the beginning of Double Knot, we see all the different keys. We can presume that it's one for each member because there are 9 or 8, 9, I'm not sure. But we can presume that they've been collecting these throughout the whole process, and they're just trying to discover the world that they're in more. They're trying to explore it. We can also presume that this is still Stray Kids that have like gone down the commonly unknown path, having a difficult time, as they are still under surveillance. They're constantly running away from things, and they're all scarred. They have like scratches on their face and stuff. We can also see that they're trying to like find their way throughout the world, as Seungmin is drawing maps, Felix has a compass, and Hyunjin just looks generally very lost. Hyunjin eventually finds a key and Chan finds a door, which links perfectly into one of my favourite music videos, Astronaut. So in Astronaut, the vibe suddenly shifts. It's like a very swift shift, and it seems like Stray Kids are genuinely very happy. We can presume that this is the version of Stray Kids that got on the bus and took the other path. So this group also finds the door, and Chan calls like walkie-talkies for Hyunjin to come and like look at the door. But while Hyunjin is on his way to find Chan in the door, he comes across a very strange range of items from seemingly the past of the other versions of himself, if that makes sense. So they find the Mero maze, the side effects bus, and also very strangely he finds the members frozen in a cage, which is strange. I don't really understand this part, but we can just presume that this is all the stuff that they didn't get to see because they didn't go down the difficult path. Like the Mero maze and the side effects bus, they would not have used because they didn't go down that path. They just got on the bus. So we can presume that this is like the other world peeking through into this world through the glitches, maybe. This part's a bit confusing, but that's my best guess on what's happening here. But most interestingly, or strangely maybe, the frozen version of IN reacts to Hyunjin. We don't really know why it's IN that reacts, but it seems like IN's a little different from the rest of them. But we also do see that all of the members go through the door and they come out the other side all dressed in white. And this is an interesting District 9 reference, but we think that this time it's like signifying them being free, they can do whatever they want. But the part that caused the most uproar in the Stray Kid fandom, they leave IN behind. IN is stuck there in the cage, and we don't really know what this means, but he's there. Although this is rather peculiar because we do see the IN of that world, the astronaut world, go through the door with the rest of the group, but then there's also IN in the cage who's still there when the other members are not. We don't really get an explanation on this, but we can presume that maybe he's like scared to go on, or there's like a part of him still left. There's a part of him that's unsure maybe. We don't know, but we think this is what the analogy means. And then we have Levanter, which I think arguably has the majority of the lore in it. This one was very hard to research, but this is what I found. So throughout Levanter we see both groups. So we see the Scarred group, presumably from Double Knot, the difficult road, and the group from Astronaut, the not Scarred group, the ones who took the others road. And we follow both of them. They all go through the door, like both groups go through the door, and they arrive at their final destination, on the final step of the destination, and we see them presumably rejecting the things from their past. They start like burning the ticket to the new world, the elevator that got them here in the first place, and a pyramid At first we didn't really know what this pyramid meant, but I have some facts for you guys. Now again, this is just a very condensed version of this because I don't know stuff like this, but in the intro, you know how there's like the intro to whatever the album is called, in the intro to Levanta, he likened this part of the story to a book named The Alchemist, which in layman's terms is about a boy who goes on a journey to find treasure in the Egyptian pyramids, and throughout his entire journey he has to like find him true self, and when he eventually gets to where the treasure is supposed to be, he realises it's not there at all, and it's actually a way back at the start, way back at the beginning, and what mattered was actually the journey he went on to find the treasure instead of the actual treasure itself. Which is exactly what happens in the Stray Kids music video. When Stray Kids get to the final step, they start rejecting all the things from the past. The pyramid disappears and we're taken way back to the start of the journey, and they are in the purple fields from Elevator, and they are given a door, just a door appears, so they can go through it and start the journey of finding them true selves, which all members do go through, and they end up in another version of the purple fields. But we can clearly see that IN is hesitant to go through the door. We don't know if this is because there's like a part of him still stuck in astronaut, or if something else is going on, but he eventually does go through, and this is signified by the two moons in the sky start to shape into one, they collide, which Chan said in a prequel, I'm pretty sure, that the shining light of the two moons combined brings them back to their true self in one singular world. So our two worlds have collided into one, and this singular world is Go Live. In the Go Live trailer we see exactly where we left off in the Levanta trailer, and the kids are in a frozen world and they're watching the moons collide into one singular world, and the whole thing restarts. We then get into God's menu, and from here on out the lore gets a little less complicated. The storyline is not as strong, but we can see a running theme throughout. Now that the members have finally found themselves, or on a journey to find themselves, they are telling us through their music. We see that a lot in the God's Menu music video. We have scientists in a construction site, we have a marching band in the kitchen, and we have schoolgirls on a racetrack, which is rather peculiar. These are places these things people shouldn't be, but I think this is a great analogy of Stray Kids themselves. All of these things represent Stray Kids and the way they make music, and that's what they're showing us. The scientists represent the experimental side of Stray Kids, and they're in a construction site, which I can only presume represents how noisy their music is, which people make a lot of like fun of them for, but I actually think it's such a unique thing to Stray Kids. We have a marching band, obviously, because they are a loud group, which we love about them, and they are in the kitchen, which we can presume is that they're always cooking stuff up, they're always working. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and the kitchen is the behind the scenes of a restaurant. We can only assume that's what that means. I theorise that the schoolgirls represent Stray Kids when they were younger, and how they spent their youths, and a little more obscurely we can assume that they are in the racetrack, the schoolgirls are in a racetrack, because we think this is hinting towards like the pit crew, where you have to work as a team to make sure everything goes right. So in their youths they work as a team, and they work as a team now, and they'll continue working as a team. We think that's the analogy we're getting from all of these people in places they're not meant to be. So God's Menu music video is just them showing us who they are, what they're all about, and at the very end we see them going through the back door. In the In Life trailer we see that they're not getting let into whatever place they're trying to get into. We see the guard like turning them away, and we also see what looks like the District 9 crew. They're all like in white. They all show up and they all go in through the back door. The back door music video seems like a celebration of freedom. They're like sneaking around the museum, they're turning on the lights, and when the security guards come and turn them off, they turn them back on, and every single time they turn the lights back on we see more and more characters from the past of Stray Kids lore showing up. We have the little man from Miro, we have the scientists, we have the schoolgirls, we have the District 9 crew, and it seems like in this music video they've finally freed themselves from the District 9 system, and now they are going back to help people of the past free themselves too. We see this section of the music video where there's a bunch of doors, and this is the first time we see Stray Kids hinting that the members have different abilities, including time travelling or like travelling between worlds through these doors. And that brings us directly into another one of my favourite sections of the lore, the wordplay trilogy. Firstly, in the wordplay trilogy, we have No Easy, and that starts with the Noisy trailer. In the Noisy trailer, we see the sound monster, which is the first monster we see in the Stray Kids lore, but it is definitely not the last. It looks like the sound monster is coming and taking away the voices of people who make nagging noises. Which I think is a fun like take on how everybody makes fun of Stray Kids for making noise music. And interestingly, it seems like each album of this series has a movie that it's referencing or influenced by in some sort of way, and in No Easy it is definitely very heavily Marvel inspired, influenced. I don't know if that's the right word, but it feels like it gives Marvel. In today's terms, it gives Marvel. Which is quite fun considering this came out at around the same time as the Kingdom performances, which we've all seen, we all love it, where they played very heavily into the whole superhero thing. The whole story, I'm presuming, is that they have to become superhero-like in order to defeat this monster that is stealing people's voices. And the only way I can really like link this into the Stray Kids lore is referencing Backdoor, where we got the first look at the Stray Kids members' abilities. Superhero powers, I'm not sure, but that's the only way I can link it to this lore right now, because I'm a little confused about this one. So we think they can now use different powers, like being able to travel between worlds through the door portal things, and them developing more skills in God's menu, and Felix channeling like that blue energy into the gun. Can I say that on YouTube? The pew pew. He like channels the blue energy and then shoots it at the monster. I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense in my brain. Yes, he channels the blue energy into the pew pew, and he turns orange, which is the opposite colour of blue, I'm pretty sure, on the colour wheel. But this blue energy comes back into play in Thunderous. So in Thunderous, we can presume that they have defeated the sound monster and they have become the Thunderous ones, and they're kind of playing the roles of like Korean goblins, which in Korean folklore the goblins are like, they possess spirits and they like trick humans and they're mischievous, that kind of vibe. But interestingly, they also have these blue flames and they defend against evil spirits. Throughout the Thunderous music video, we see these like evil spirit type of people, and they are eventually defeated by the blue flame. And at the end, just like we all love, there's a huge celebration because they defeated the spirits and they're doing great. And then just quickly, you might not think Christmas Evil intertwines this storyline at all, but it does briefly link, as it seems that Santa has also lost his voice, presumably because he's been nagging. So Stray Kids stop by during Christmas to help rescue Santa and get him his voice back. And then we are on to the album that everyone loves, Ordinary. So in the Ordinary trailer, everything seems to like take a shift. Felix is alone, his members are missing, they're on missing posters everywhere. He's playing with a lock and he's trying to just find out where his members are, and in this process he enters the Ordinary Hotel. And the first member he comes across is IN, where he then becomes missing. One of the posters show that Felix is also missing, and we can presume that this is because he has entered the hotel. He has now joined his members being gone. He eventually finds all of his members throughout the whole trailer, and he discovers that they're not gone, they're still there. They're just now very odd. And as he finds each member, each like odd version of the member, he seems scared of them at first. We don't know if this is because they are not the same as he remembers them, or if this is just an analogy on society, on how we view people that are different from us or weird, that they're like, we're scared of them, like they're weird, we don't want to like interact with them, when really they're just different. He then discovers Hyunjin, who asks him if he wishes to be ordinary and join the rest of the members, and he reluctantly says yes. And then Hyunjin pushes him out of the window. I don't think this is Hyunjin like being evil. I saw a lot of comments on like Reddit and Twitter and everything that Hyunjin is evil in this scene. I don't think he's evil. I think that this is him just trying to help Felix unlock his ordinary side, and when he falls, that's why the lock breaks, maybe. Like that part of him, he's finally unlocked it. I'm not sure, that is just my speculation, which takes us straight into Maniac. Again, in Maniac, I don't think they're like the evil version of themselves. I think this is just Stray Kids like finding a new part of themselves. In the teaser trailer thing for Maniac, we saw very clearly the two worlds, the upside down world and the normal world, when Felix is like running. And the upside down world was like breaking apart, and I can only assume this is an Inception reference, the movie Inception, because in the movie Inception, one world is like your reality, which is the one Felix is currently in, and in the upside down world, which is like breaking apart, is the dream world, aka your subconscious, which I think is a running theme from the rest of Stray Kids music so far, is the subconscious mind and the reality. Throughout the Maniac video, we see the real world in contrast to the ordinary world, which I think is again the subconscious mind, because everybody's in the same place, like everything happens in the same place, but it's two different worlds. And we also see into, like there's a scene where we literally go inside one of the members' brains, and I think that's like furthering the idea that it's not a different world, it's just the subconscious. So it's like everything that's happening in the ordinary world is happening inside their brain, and it's a part of them, but they're just hiding it from the rest of the world, I think. Moving swiftly on to the Maxident trailer, we can assume that this is also linked to Ordinary, as a lot of things that happen in the Ordinary trailer also happens in the Maxident trailer. So Hyunjin is eating the apple like he did in the Ordinary trailer, but this time it's like in real life. And then Leno is playing with the cans, just like in the Ordinary trailer. And Changbin has free hugs, which in the Ordinary trailer he's like holding up a sign, and in the Maxident trailer it's like written on his hands, I'm pretty sure. And of course we're introduced to a new monster, and it's the fluffy heart monster that we all know and love. In the Case 143 music video, this monster is presumably spreading a love virus, and this album of the Wordplay trilogy seems to be referencing The Shining. There's a lot of references to The Shining, like the carpet being the same, the little reference that Leno makes to the "Here's Johnny" scene, suggesting that the love virus is driving them to madness, like in the Shining movie. Here we also see different versions of Stray Kids. In this music video, I think that the police version of them is like an Ordinary, they're subconscious, like they're trying to fight against the love virus. And what police, that's what police do, they like defend the country, they try to like fight against crime. So we can presume that this is their subconscious trying to fight against whatever the monster's doing to their brains. And the police do eventually capture the monster, and they try to unplug it to stop it, but Seungmin stops them, and they decide to embrace the love, to embrace the monster instead of defeating it. So in terms of Stray Kids lore, we can presume that these three albums is just Stray Kids trying to like embrace different parts of themselves. The powerful one from God's Menu, the weird ordinary one from Maniac, and the side that can accept love in case 143. Now that we have finished the Wordplay trilogy, we are now moving on to the Rockstar 5-Star 8 trilogy. I don't really know the name of this trilogy, but the next one. So these last three albums, I'm a bit iffy on the lore. This is just what I think is happening and what I gather from other TikToks. But it seems like these three are not as lore heavy in terms of this storyline, if that makes sense. Like there is a lot of storyline in it, I'm just not sure it connects to this specific part of the storyline, because Stray Kids lore is insane. So I'm going to explain it the best I can. So in the 5-star trailer, we are playing I Am Ground, which is a Korean game that people used to like introduce themselves and stuff like that. So throughout the whole trailer, every single member introduces themselves. First, we get introduced to IN, and there's like these wings behind him, which is a stark contrast because then he starts like vandalising stuff and like drawing all over the place, which I think is funny and just shows how chaotic IN is. Which is also the same as Changbin. Changbin introduces himself as like a romantic and loving and all that, and then he takes his bat and starts smashing things. We are introduced to Hyunjin and him being creative, and I'm like painting jackets, just being artsy, do artisty things. Then we are introduced to Han, also his creativity, where he's looking at a blank canvas, like a huge big blank canvas on the wall. He tears it down and there's this beautiful art piece behind it, again showing his creativity. Seungmin showing his uniqueness by being in a parking lot, and instead of like being in a car, he's drove like a tractor in and he's like sitting in the claw thing, I don't know what it's called, but showing his uniqueness and just how silly he is. Felix introduces himself in English and he is conducting the traffic, but I feel like this is also a euphemism for conducting his music and like just being in charge of things. I'm not really sure. We get a powerful scene of Chan and he's like playing music, very like intense music, and then eventually it all bursts into flames. And then we get Lino, who says he is cute while doing some very questionable things in a bathroom, which I think sums up Lino's personality perfectly. We can assume that this just links to them exploring the different sides of themselves, showing all different aspects of their personality. And at the very end of the trailer, we see them walking across the roof into a new world. But we don't know if this is like literally a different world or if it's their subconscious mind world and this is them accepting who they are in their mind and deciding to show it to the world. Then we have the S-Class music video, which is a big question mark, not only for me but literally every other day I've spoke to about this. I have honestly no idea what's happening in the S-Class music video, but we do see lots of reflections, lots of like things from their past, so I can only assume that throughout S-Class they're like reflecting on who they used to be, thinking about who they are now. I think there's also quite a few scenes with this octopus monster. Again, we have another new monster for Stray Kids lore. I'm not really sure what this octopus means. I've done some research, people have so many different opinions on it. I'm not too sure what this monster means, especially since it's an octopus. However, I did come across a Reddit thread that said that the monster signifies the haters, and throughout the music video we can see that Stray Kids have partnered up with the special forces in order to like get rid of this monster, defeat this monster, which if the monster is the haters, I also saw a theory that says the special forces are actually stays, which I feel like is further backed up in this one specific scene of Felix when he's walking through the pool looking for the monster. The special forces are there and it flashes to just normal people in a swimming pool. So I think that is a really good theory, that the octopus is the haters and the special forces are the stays that have been there all along helping to defend against the haters. But that is just a theory I saw online. If you guys have any other theories on the S-Class music video, please let me know, because that one's the one I don't understand. In the Rockstar prologue, we see 8 children that are scared, nervous before their first concert, which we can only presume is showing Stray Kids' anxiety and fear and nervousness before they get on stage, and that is represented by the 8 children. We get to go inside their brain and we see 4 different emotions. We see happiness, which is represented by the happiness bank, which is being robbed. We see anger represented by pirates who are hunting down the happiness bank. And we see anxiety represented by the big massive clock, which is counting down the minutes to the concert starting. And we don't see the 4th emotion until the La 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 music video. In the La 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 music video, we see the 4th and final emotion, which is rock, which is the Chinese character for fun and joy, which they represented as a huge big stage that's filled with music and loud noises. This time we have another monster, although this time it is inside of their brains, and this is like the embodiment of fear. The monster is their fear. As the music video goes on, we see each of the emotions being defeated. The anger pirates get captured where they're trying to rob the happiness bank. Anxiety gets destroyed and the happiness bank gets blown up in the process. So then we are just left with joy. The Stray Kids members help the children overcome their fear, and at the end there is a huge massive concert. And then lastly, the most recent album for Stray Kids, 8. Chick Chick Boom is obviously heavily influenced by the Marvel universe. I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine are there. But Chick Chick Boom is also the sound of a gun firing, possibly referencing how Stray Kids are always hitting their targets. This song clearly shows Stray Kids' confidence and that they desire not to change their music or style at all, as it's who they are and it's what makes them unique, linking back to earlier lore that they have finally found their true self, all part of themselves, and they have absolutely no desire to change it. And in the 8 trailer we clearly see the fortune cookies, but I think that the Chick Chick Boom music video connects to that, as it shows Stray Kids will continue to make their own way and their goals are not achieved by luck. They are simply made by Stray Kids and the support of Stay. So, in conclusion, from Elevator up until Levanta, Stray Kids were simply just trying to get out of their oppression. They're trying to be themselves, they're trying to be different from other people. And then from Levanta onwards, it was just them discovering different parts of themselves, embracing their true self, and telling the world that they're not going to change who they are for other people. And that, my friends, is how I understand Stray Kids lore up until 8. I hope this wasn't too confusing for you guys. This is just my opinion and facts. So all of the storyline up until Go Live is confirmed by Chan himself. There is a video, this is the video right here, that you can go and watch, of Chan explaining the entire storyline of Stray Kids lore up until Go Live, which is very helpful. I wish you would make one for like the latter half. I am quickly just going to move on to some popular fan theories of like other songs, different part songs, Japanese songs, because I have been filming for 3 hours and I do not want to film for 3 hours more. We're going to stick to 2 or 3. Here we go. The first very popular theory that I've saw multiple times on Reddit, TikTok, Twitter, corresponds more specifically to Ordinary onwards, including the Skids flicks, which I didn't dive into in this video because that could be a whole series itself. But there's a very popular theory that Hyunjin is a bad guy and he's trying to make Felix disappear. We see this throughout different music videos and different like little snippets, that Hyunjin is always with Felix and it seems like the other members can't really like see him, interact with him, remember him even, especially in the Skids flicks if you guys watched that. But it also seems that Lino does remember him. Lino remembers who Felix is. He, like, in his brain he's just gone, and Hyunjin seems to realise this, and Hyunjin now also wants Lino gone. I'm not sure, I didn't include this because it's hard. This theory is, it kind of boggles my brain, but that is a very popular theory. If you guys have more information on like this particular theory, comment below and like explain it to me. But that is fan theory number 1. The next fan theory is kind of intertwined with the first one, and that is that Lino knows exactly what's going on. I'm not sure about this one. It is clear that Lino knows something because he is constantly trying to break the 4th wall, and he eventually does do it. However, I don't know a lot about this theory. I'm not sure. If you guys know anything else about this theory, let me know in comments below. But I kept seeing that one come up and up again, that Lino knows something. I just don't know what he knows. But yeah, that is theory number 2, quite a short one, but I wanted to include it because a lot of people seem to believe that theory. And then last but not least, the last theory I'm going to talk about is, I think this is specifically for Ordinary. Like, I don't think it's like a running theme through the whole lore. I just really like this theory, and that is in Ordinary, each member of Stray Kids are playing different Alice in the Wonderland characters. I really like this. I love Alice in the Wonderland, so I thought this theory was quite fun. So I found this post on the Stray Kids Reddit by Mei Embercrest. I don't know if that's how you pronounce the name, I'm sorry if it's not, but I will post it on screen while I give you like a brief overview. But I highly recommend going reading the whole post because it is so interesting. So in the post they say that Chan is the caterpillar, Han is the Mad Hatter, Seungmin is the March Hare, Jeongin is the Dormouse, Mino is the Cheshire Cat, Changbin is the Guard of Hearts, Hyunjin is the Knave of Hearts, and Felix starts off as Alice but then becomes the Red Queen. Which I think is so interesting. I love this theory so much. And you can go and read the Reddit post where it goes on to tell you about why they think this. But yeah, I think this is just like an ordinary theory. I don't think this is like a whole lore theory. But I really enjoy this one. So if you guys also believe this theory, please let me know in the comments below more about it, because again, I'm a huge Alice in the Wonderland fan. So that is it. I've been filming for 3.5 hours, so I'm going to stop there. If there's anything else you guys want to know about the Skids lore, let me know in the comments. Or if there's anything you want to tell me about the Skids lore, your opinions, your theories, let me know in the comments. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Also, if there's any other group you would like me to dig deep into the lore, I'm planning for ATs. But if there's any other groups you want me to dig into the lore and trying my best to explain it to you in the most simple terms possible, please let me know in the comments below. This video was so fun to film and I hope you guys understood it. Please like, subscribe and turn on bell notifications so you never miss an upload. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Good night, baby.
I love you.